Hey everyone, it's Evan and Phil from LadySport and Fit First. We're back again to kind of have a little spotlight or brand review here in fall of 2021 on one of our favorite brands in the store, Brooks Running. And situated currently in Seattle, that Pacific Northwest brand hits a little closer to home, and it feels like they're looking out for us and our community and our climate, which is a nice little feature. And what we really like about these shoes is the tight line that they offer. And so what we're going to do today is kind of dive into a few of the models, touch on what we like, touch on maybe what we don't like, and give you an update on where Brooks is at.
It's an extensive line, but it's a tight line. And what that means, I think, is that they're a real shoe fitter's shoe. That's why I think we're doing so well with them, and why they're growing very consistently each year. And I think that comes down to a few things. They have the traditional categories, like you said, the neutral supportive, the stability, and the straight neutral shoes. Within that, they have a couple of models, and they fit really well. They transition from every generation, so say they're in year 14, that means every year on his birthday, they have a new model. I think where they really nail it is they must do a lot of fit testing, sending shoes out to people who've had 13 generations of that shoe, and making sure that they come back with a comment that says, that's my shoe, that's the way it fits.
And having that experience of going down to their R&D shop in Seattle, you can tell they're so product focused, and I think it really comes through with some of these models. You can't just brush over that discontinued product syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
They're one of the better brands to avoid that. They're really consistent with their fit across the models and the updates, which is important.
Exactly, and their orthotic base shoe, the neutral supportive, the one with that really wide base, firm midsole, drop any orthotic in there, and it does really well. The Brooks Dyad. Amazing shoe, and they don't change this one all the time. This is the one that is one that's forfeiting. They don't every year on its birthday change it. They say, I've got something good, I do have to change it, I have to keep it updated, I've got some new technologies. Colors, but again, when it comes out, you take the Dyad before it and you go, wow, that shoe fits exactly the same. And they do that throughout their line. When they have new models, which people can get excited about the new graphics and so forth, they can be pretty darn sure when they come in and put their foot in the new model, they're going to go, oh, man, that's my shoe. And I think the other thing that's really important as a shoe fitter shoe, they support width sizing.
Where it feels like every other brand is going away from narrows, cutting their width sizing, looking after just the center of the bell curve. Brooks is saying, hey, no, we're here to support it. 2A, B, D, 2E, 4E, narrow to wide to extra wide is there, and it's available, which is really nice, again, as shoe fitters. I want to get a little zoomed in here. So we talked about the Brooks Dyad. Now on to the go-to shoe, the Adrenaline GTS go-to shoe, and this introduction to guide rail.
What I do like about this one is the top loading, or putting that stability feature, that firmer medial side guide rail, is loading that up on the top. So when a person puts their foot in the shoe, they feel something hugging up into their arch. When we're telling them that we don't want their foot rolling in, or we don't like that particular movement, and they can feel that support right in there, I think it's terrific. And they added it to a shoe that essentially was a go-to fit, and just simply added a feature in there rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. So I really like the shoe.
Now, to jump over to their kind of more performance neutral shoes, these are some of the leaders in the category. These Glycerin Go series, or the Glycerin and the Go series, have really done it for them. So Glycerin, this is their $200 full cushion performance running shoe. A lot of people are walking it as well. Where are we at here?
Again, what I find with Glycerin is that it's a premium cushion shoe without being a marshmallow. So a lot of times there's this tendency for designers and for companies to really put this plush, bouncy cushion in, which will bottom out really early, and really I don't know that it provides any great solution to anything. It's just kind of this wobble board you're running on. This has this kind of convex midsole, wide base. It's firm, but it's soft. I know that sounds like it just doesn't make sense, but it does. It gives you stability on a really well cushioned performance base.
The broad base that it offers is a huge game changer for me. This Glycerin 19 in particular, that flared sole is just so stable. So for that long run, or that foot that is a little bit hypermobile or a little bit wobbly, We've got that flared sole.
This one has the wide base here and here, maybe even wider than that. But that narrow waist is what hugs this part of the foot.
Yeah.
It's like somebody coming up and giving you a big hug. And it holds you in there, which gives you the heel fit.
Great, so we covered the Dyad, Adrenaline, Glycerin. Now for really Brooks' #1 seller, one of the most awarded shoes on the market, the Ghost. I love this shoe. This has been a really important shoe here at the store. We talk about, as a shoe fitter, I always say what we want to look for is a nice snug heel, a fitted sort of mid-foot shape, and round shape in the toe box, and wiggle room for those toes. And Brooks, with the widths that we're getting from them, this shoe has really been able to kind of allow us to achieve that fit in a lot of different ways.
Pretty much every shoe fitter on the market, they're all going to say similar things about this shoe because it has that amazing fit that they got dialed in early.
Yeah.
And I think it's so amazing to think that they can every year change the stitch pattern, change the model, using the same last, of course, the same basic shape.
Right.
But for that designer to be told, hey, got shoe of the year, way to go, and after they clap for the person, they say, make me another one. I want it to be different, I want it to be a different color, different technologies, but I want that fit to remain the same. And somehow they've been able to accomplish that. And that goes to great fit testing and going through the procedure to make sure that when they put that shoe to market, for us shoe fitters, we can have the confidence that it's going to fit the same
For
way.
the most part, it's you're going to come in and get, be really happy with it from there.
Yeah.
And then of course, again, Pacific Northwest, that Ghost model comes in the full waterproof. This is maybe the one kind of complaint I have with Brooks
a
is,
fair one.
where is the wide in your Gore-Tex? This shoe, if it came in a wide, might truly be my favorite shoe on the wall. Yeah, it's Gore-Tex. It's probably one of the nicest applications of Gore-Tex that we see, especially up against its competitors. Really easy to get along. This is a good dog walker shoe, light trail. I think of Pacific Spirit Park, Burnaby Lake, Deer Lake, even parts of Burnaby Mountain and things like that. But it just fits. I don't know what it is. The Gore-Tex doesn't alter the fit like a lot of Gore-Tex shoes.
Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure on that model, and anytime you take a shoe and use the same basic tooling, same pattern, and you put a Gore-Tex membrane inside, it's going to tighten the fit a little bit.
Yeah, and they've accommodated it for properly. Of course, Brooks continues to do really well with their trail shoe in the Caldera. Obviously, the Cascadia is kind of that pretty well-known shoe. This new Cascadia, a staple, and it has changed, I think, in this case for a better. Way deeper lugs, a lot stiffer, a lot more structured, waterproof, and fitting a little roomier in the toe box than it used to. It used to be, I had troubles with this shoe and fitting it where it was narrow and tight through the toe box. So yeah, they're really hitting on all marks, with the exception of wide Gore-Tex. We're really calling for that. And probably the thing that I foresee coming that Brooks really needs to address here pretty soon is that answer to maximalism, that answer to a healthy sort of stiff rockered shoe that we're seeing other brands obviously blow up with, but also other brands get into. So I'm excited to see what's next for Brooks and what they do with that.
And they have that model of Caldera as a trail shoe, which I did some measurements on it. And I looked at what they had the specs on that shoe, and that's getting into that thicker, more maximal shoe that in their line is definitely more maximal, and it adds to that stiffness in the forefoot. It does a lot of those orthopedic things, which we spend a lot of time problem solving for shoe fits, and so we kind of want it maybe even more than others do.
Probably the last thing I maybe would throw out there, and I don't think any of us or any of the brands are doing enough in this category. I really look forward to the day where we can, after a shoe is tired, we can take some scissors, maybe cut off the upper, throw it in the green bin, take the sole and throw it in the blue bin or something like that in terms of recyclability. But Brooks has gone, their Ghost line is now is a carbon neutral shoe, which we're pretty excited about. It's a thing that I hope to continue to talk about, continue to demand and put pressures on the brand. And so far they're doing, an improved job, especially as we look to some of their competitors. Even just little things like when you open their shoe boxes, there is only one piece of paper in there. Other brands, it's stuff. You're taking so much out.
They've been real leaders in that category. Within our running shoe brands, there's a lot of brands out there doing a tremendous amount, maybe more, but I think they've been real leaders in our partner brands for sure.
Yeah, no question. So yeah, I think that kind of runs through the Brooks lineup. Some of the shoes that we're really excited about and having a lot of success with. If you haven't tried Brooks and you're kind of thinking, oh, it's that Brooks shoe get it on your foot, just listen to it, see what it's about. It's quickly becoming one of our best-selling, best-fitting brands, and it's not because people are, ooh, give me that, you know, nice-looking, sexy-looking Brooks shoe. It's the fit, the performance, and they're coming back happy, looking for the same sort of thing. Yeah. So hey, thanks so much for listening. If you have more questions about this, don't hesitate to get in touch. Follow us along, and yeah, hopefully we see you in the store or out on the trails one day. Thank you.